I initially thought that Hades, a roguelike dungeon crawler by Supergiant Games, was a lot like Diablo, an action RPG dungeon crawler by Blizzard Entertainment. I was so wrong. Let me tell you why that's a good thing. At first glance, you might think the two are alike gameplay-wise. Diablo games are in isometric view, so is Hades. Diablo games involve clearing rooms full of bad guys, so does Hades. So, they're the same, right? Not even close. Let's go over some of the basic building blocks of both games. For those unfamiliar with the term, a roguelike is a subgenre of role-playing games where you navigate through randomly generated levels. When your character dies, they're permanently dead and you can't use them again. Hades is a roguelite, which means it has some elements of roguelikes, but I guess at a lighter degree. Instead of the traditional turn-based combat in roguelikes, you hack and slash your way through Hades' dungeons in real time. The order you come upon most rooms is random in every escape run. So are the enemies and rewards you encounter in each room. Whenever your character dies, and it will inevitably happen over and over, you lose all your money, weapon upgrades, and power-ups. You also start from the beginning. So, all those rooms you cleared and the bosses you beat, you have to fight them all over again. Each time. Diablo is an action RPG. Like Hades, its combat is real-time. You also hack and slash your way through its dungeons. The Diablo games have random elements as well, like the changing dungeon layouts and monster encounters. But being an action RPG series, Diablo games also have the following: experience levels, character classes like Wizard, Barbarian, Necromancer, and more. Attributes to raise, specifically in Diablos 1 and 2, and skill trees in parts 2 and 3. And while not necessarily characteristic of action RPGs, Diablo games have loot. Lots and lots of loot. The overall experience isn't the same. I think their gameplay loop is different. For Diablo games, it generally goes something like this. First, kill roaming enemy mobs. Second, collect loot from the mobs you killed. And then third, upgrade your gear and level up to kill more powerful enemy mobs. Rinse and repeat. For Hades, it's a little different. First, kill all enemies in every chamber. Second, encounter random power-ups. And then third, start over upon death. Rinse and repeat. While tough, Hades provides a few ways to make successive attempts a little easier. This includes a magic mirror that provides permanent upgrades like more health or starting money. And there's also the option to upgrade dungeons with pots and chests that provide rewards or healing. In between your attempts to escape the Underworld, you return to the House of Hades, the personal estate of the titular Hades, your character Zagreus' father. Here, you can talk to non-player characters who give you items and help move the story forward. Make no mistake, Diablo can also be quite punishing, like in Part 3's endgame, when you're going after rifts and bounties and just grinding for legendary gear. I got my rear end handed back to me so many times in those Nephilim rifts, despite maxing out my character level. The Hades experience, however, feels much more frenetic to me from the get-go. Here's why. If I slip up and take a sizable chunk of damage early in my escape run, there's no potion that'll restore my health and save me. Sure, Karen sometimes sells food that'll refill my health bar. If I'm lucky, I might encounter a well of Karen, which sells a few healing items every now and then. Tough luck though when there aren't any. Or maybe one of the Olympus gods I randomly encounter during an escape run will give me a boon that provides a limited form of healing. But by default, players can't heal on demand in Hades. I have to live with my mistakes until Zagreus croaks. This lack of healing items means when I fight in Hades, I'm usually more careful and defensive. Otherwise, it's going to be a very short and unproductive attempt, and I go right back at the start with nothing to show for it. At first, I was aggressive in combat. When I attack, I don't stop until the enemy is dead. This is fine when dealing with scrubs, but when facing off against enemies higher up in the food chain, like armored foes or stage bosses, I need to play smart. And I learned this the hard way. This defensive-minded approach made me focus more when things heat up on screen. The tension almost reminded me of how I felt in Souls games. Mind you, I'm not saying Hades is the Dark Souls of roguelike games. Ugh, I'm not a games journalist. I'm saying how my body reacts, the pounding pulse, the sweaty palms, the incredible elation after beating a boss. It feels similar to what I get with those From Software games. Another aspect that makes combat absolutely demented is the speed of how everything goes down. Compared to Diablo, enemies move faster in Hades. So do you, especially with the dash. But when frenzied fights take place, like this showdown with Megara, the game sometimes looks more bullet hell shooter than roguelite. Whoa, it's a sight to see. It's also a heck of an experience. The mouse and keyboard controls are more immediate. They give you direct control over the character. When you press W or S, Zagreus moves up or down on screen. Hitting A or D will move him left or right. Combining up and down with left or right moves him diagonally. So basically, Hades controls like a regular arcadey action game despite having an isometric view. Admittedly, this is also how Diablo controls on consoles, specifically Diablo 3. I've never had the pleasure of playing Diablo 1 on the original PlayStation, but I hear the controls are similar. Diablo 3's PC version, however, doesn't have controller support. It's all mouse and keyboard, so the experience feels a little bit different there. I'm also bringing this up because I found the arcade-like controls completely unexpected. I thought Hades controlled like a point-and-click action game where, you click a spot on screen and your character moves there. You click an enemy, your character moves towards it and attacks once. And then for ranged attacks, you just press shift to stand in place and left click to attack. But Hades is nothing like that. And I'm really liking it so far. When I add up all these factors, I find Hades harder and more intense than Diablo. It's not necessarily better. I can't make that call right now since I haven't finished Hades or played it for a significant amount of time. They're like apples and oranges, but with what I've seen and experienced so far, the action in Hades is wild! And despite having died repeatedly, I've lost count, frankly. I cannot wait to jump in for more. So yeah, I'm really glad I was wrong about Hades. It's considerably different from Diablo. Try it out for yourself. I think you won't regret it. So hey, if you liked this video or found it really helpful, do give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends too. Doing this will really help me out. If it's your first time watching my videos, I focus on RPGs. This includes reviews, impressions like this one, some tips, and guides. If you're interested in those topics, I recommend you subscribe to my channel. If you want to be notified every time I put out another video, do click the bell button. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.